Howdy Hey fans, today we are going to be doing Sketch With Me 3, and just so you know, my voice is terrible. Why do I always record when my voice is terrible? I don't know. Let's get into it. So, last week I put out a poll and I asked you out of a couple of options what you wanted me to draw, and the majority came back as Pearl. So, what do you think of when you hear Pearl? Pearl necklaces, the mermaid pearl things that they always have in movies for some reason? Yeah, those things. And they're usually the normal shiny white pearl. But did you know that they actually come in various different colors? They can come in pink, red, blue, gold, even iridescent, or as I like to call it, multichrome. Which, if you don't know what multichrome is, have you been living under a rock? Going into the inking process, I kept my handy dandy ruler nearby because I wanted the cylinders to not look so tippy, I guess. Mostly because if you can look at the sketch, some of those are pretty rough, I'm just saying. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good, especially the inking process. Also, the camera kept tipping over, which is fun. At this point in the process, I kind of just filmed myself thinking of whatever the heck I was going to do with the color scheme, but I ended up picking black and white, which I think worked out nicely. So, to begin the coloring process, I decided to make the background the darkest shade of gray I had. While I was coloring the background, I started to notice that the marker was getting all squeaky, and for some reason it was getting splotchy too. If anyone out there owns markers, you probably know that, it was running out of ink, and I didn't notice that in the time being, so I feel like that kind of messed up the background. I didn't realize this until a little bit later, which you'll see in a couple minutes. At this point, I also began drawing the pillars, which, as you can see, also as time went on, the marker began to also start running out, which I didn't realize at the time, once again, until, of course, I got into some of the later pillars. As you can see, I'm kind of having difficulty, and the marker isn't going on as neatly as I would like it to go. And as I kept going on, it began to get worse and worse. By the time I reached this pillar, I kind of knew I had to stop at some point because it was not working out for me and it was not looking pretty. However, I did like the watercolor effect it gave me. And here I am showing you guys that these two markers are running out of ink, so I went to go refill them. This time, I actually didn't refill them with ink. I refilled them with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, which I was told by the Copic site that you can do. And, well, if any of you guys are, really good at markers, please let me know if I'm doing it correctly. If I'm not, and I just destroyed my markers, please yell at me about that. Alright, now for us to resume. As you can see, the markers are all back to normal, and I finally got to finish that part of the piece. Finally, moving on from that, I decided to finally get to work on the mermaid, who was the center point of the piece, and I think she turned out pretty good. Last but not least, I shaded everything in, and I was then left with the final product. Well, there you guys go. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Sketch With Me. And tell me, do you like the two small sketches or the one big sketch? Please let me know. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also make sure to click the bell for more content. And I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye!